Hey guys, Microsoft just dropped some massive news about .NET 10. And honestly, this is bigger than most people realize. Welcome back to this special episode of Atarian News Channel. Today I'm going to talk of a major update. And trust me, this ain't just another boring software update I'm going to tell you about. First, for those who are probably thinking, .NET, what the hell is that? Well, .NET is like the invisible backbone that powers tons of software you use every day. Your banking app, probably .NET. That work software that crashes every Tuesday, definitely .NET. And guess what? Microsoft just announced they're completely overhauling it with .NET 10 coming this November. And get this, they're calling it a long-term support release, which basically means they're so confident in this version that they're promising to support it for 3 whole years. That's like a company saying, we're so sure this car won't break down, we'll fix it for free for 3 years. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The performance improvements they're talking about are honestly insane. Like, remember how your computer used to take forever to sort through your photo library? Well, they have completely redesigned how the system handles large amounts of data. They're calling it Array Interface Method Devirtualization. I know, terrible name, but what it actually does is let your computer take shortcuts when organizing information. Think about it like this. Imagine you're organizing a massive library. Before you had to check every single book individually one by one. And now the system can look at entire shelves at once and instantly know where everything goes. That's the kind of speed improvement we're talking about here. But wait, it gets better. They've also introduced something called stack allocation for small arrays. Okay, stay with me on this one. Your computer's memory is like a workspace, right? Previously, even the tiniest tasks needed their own separate desk space. Now, for quick little jobs, the computer can just use a corner of the main desk. It sounds simple, but this makes everything noticeably faster. Speaking of faster, they've added support to something called AVX 10.2. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the technical details, but basically, if you've got a newer computer, your apps are about to get a serious speed boost. It's like Microsoft found a way to unlock extra horsepower that was just sitting there unused in your processor. The really cool part though, the system is now smart enough to optimize itself as it runs. It's like having a mechanic constantly fine tuning your car engine while you're driving. The more you use an app, the faster it gets. How crazy is that? Now, all of this is possible because they've completely revolutionized the programming language that powers everything. C Sharp 14. That's what they're calling it. And honestly, some of these features are game changers for developers, which means better apps for us. One of the coolest things is called field backed properties. I know, sounds boring, but here's what it means for you. Developers can now build way more flexible software without all the usual headaches. It's like giving an architect better blueprints. Same effort, but they can create much more sophisticated buildings. They've also introduced something called extension members, and this is actually huge. You know how sometimes you love an app, but you wish it had just one more feature? Well, now developers can add those features without rebuilding the entire app. It's like being able to add a new room to your house without tearing down the walls. And here's something that's going to save all of us from those annoying app crashes. They have added null conditional assignment. Basically, it prevents a ton of stupid errors that cause apps to just randomly quit on you. You know that feeling when you're in the middle of something important and boom, application has stopped working. Yeah, way less of that. The developer tools are getting a massive upgrade too. They've added automatic cleanup, which means when developers build apps, the system automatically throws out all the junk code that nobody needs. Smaller apps, faster downloads, less storage space used, win win win. And here's where it gets really practical for everyday users like us. Mobile app development is getting completely transformed. They have improved something called .NET MAUI. Basically, it lets developers build one app that works perfectly on iPhone, Android, Windows, and everything. What does this mean for you? Well, instead of getting the iPhone version of an app in January and the Android version in March, you'll get both at the same time and they'll work exactly the same way. No more, oh, this feature is only available on iOS kind of nonsense. Web development is getting the same treatment. They've upgraded ASP.NET Core with better Blazor support, And I know these names are ridiculous, but what it actually means is websites that feel more like apps. Those super smooth, responsive websites that feel almost magical to use. We're about to get a lot more of those. Now, this next part might sound boring, but stick with me because it affects literally everything you do online. They've completely overhauled Entity Framework Core. That's how apps talk to databases. Every time we log into anything, buy something online, or even just search for something, there's a database conversation happening behind the scenes. With .NET 10, those conversations are about to get way faster and more reliable. Better performance, improved cloud support, smarter data handling, translation, websites load faster, online shopping is smoother, and your apps sync your data more reliably. Security is getting a major boost too, and this is actually really important. They have updated how the system handles digital certificates. Think of these like digital IDs that prove websites and apps are legitimate. The old system used SHA-1 encryption, which is honestly pretty outdated at this point. The new system uses SHA-256, which is way more secure. What does this mean practically? Better protection when you're shopping online, more secure banking apps, and basically just safer internet browsing overall. If you're still using desktop software, and let's be honest, who isn't? You are in for a treat. Windows Forms applications are getting clipboard improvements and better UI editors. Basically, your desktop apps are going to look more modern and work more smoothly. WPF applications, that's the fancy Windows desktop stuff, are getting performance improvements and fluent design updates. If you've noticed how Windows 11 has that clean, modern look, more desktop apps are going to match that aesthetic. But here's the thing that really gets me excited about all this. Microsoft isn't just improving individual features, they are rethinking how all these pieces work together. The container support improvements mean developers can push out updates faster. The testing platform enhancements mean fewer bugs make it to your devices. The cross platform improvements mean better consistency across all your devices. It's like they looked at the entire ecosystem and said, how can we make this whole thing work better together? And honestly, from what I am seeing, they've nailed it. Right now, we are looking at Preview 6, and developers around the world are already testing this stuff. The feedback has been really positive so far. Microsoft is taking all this input and polishing everything for the November launch. What's cool is that by the time we get the final version, it'll have been tested by thousands of developers on millions of different setups. So we are not talking about a buggy first release here. This is going to be solid from day one. Oh, and before I forget, they haven't left out the other programming languages either. Visual Basic is getting better compatibility features, and F Sharp, that's the math and data science language, is getting some nice improvements too. So, whether you're using business software built with Visual Basic or data analysis tools built with F Sharp, you'll see benefits. For those of you working in offices or running businesses, the enterprise features are pretty impressive. .NET Aspire improvements mean better cloud applications, and the testing platform updates mean more reliable business software. Less downtime, fewer crashes, better integration between different systems. Look, I know I have thrown a lot of technical stuff at you, but here's the bottom line. Every single one of these improvements translates to a better experience for us as users. Faster apps, more reliable software, better security, smoother web browsing, and just generally less frustration with technology. Think about your daily routine with technology. You wake up, check your phone, maybe read some news, check email, browse social media, maybe do some work, shop online, stream some videos. Every single one of those activities is about to get noticeably better because of these improvements. Your phone apps will start faster, websites will be more responsive, work structure will crash less, online shopping will be smoother, video streaming apps will be more reliable. It's like getting a subtle but meaningful upgrade to your entire digital life. And here's what really excites me about this. .NET 10 isn't just about making existing stuff better, it's laying the groundwork for the next generation of applications. With these performance improvements and developer tools, we're probably going to see completely new types of software that weren't possible before. Virtual reality applications, AI powered tools, real time collaboration software, advanced gaming experiences. When developers have better tools and faster platforms, They build cooler stuff for us to use. So, November 2025 is definitely a date to mark on your calendar. Not because you need to do anything. Most of these improvements will just start showing up in your apps and websites automatically over time. But because it represents a pretty significant step forward in how we interact with technology. And hey, if this breakdown was helpful, definitely hit that like button and subscribe to Atarian News channel. Thanks for hanging out with me through all this technical stuff. I know it's a lot, but understanding these foundational changes really helps make sense of why technology keeps getting better. Well, catch you in the next video.